In April 1945, Europe was a smoldering graveyard. For starving armies marching through snow and mud, there was no difference between a draft animal and a biological masterpiece. Meat was meat. But in the midst of the collapse of World War II, an unlikely tactical alliance was formed. A highly classified international military operation mounted with a single objective: to prevent the extinction of a white ghost, the Lipizzaner horse. Operation Cowboy was not just a tactical rescue, it was the defense of 400 years of an isolated genetic code. At the time, the armed forces had concentrated the entire pure breeding stock of the breed in a single town, Hostau. A dangerous centralization, the nightmare of conservation biologists, the so-called genetic bottleneck. If the battlefront reached those stables, crossfire and starvation would decimate the herd. The Vienna bloodline would vanish from the face of the earth in less than a week. American officers, led by Colonel Reed, and even captured German military personnel, signed a silent truce for a greater cause. The mission was to evacuate hundreds of horses through dense forests and destroyed borders under the cover of night. But moving a troop of Lipizzaners through a war zone is not just a logistics problem, it is a physiological nightmare. Equine biology is governed by an extremely volatile fight or flight response. The sound of explosions, the metallic smell of blood and smoke, it all injects lethal levels of cortisol into the animal's bloodstream. In horses, prolonged panic and chronic stress do not just cause fear, they cause internal collapse. Severe gastric ulcers, myositis, and fatal colic can kill a purebred in a matter of hours. The military men were not just soldiers. That night, they became biological crisis managers under crossfire. They guided the imperial bloodline through the chaos using strict behavioral modulation. Absolute silence. The sound of hooves, which once echoed in the palaces of Vienna, was now muffled by the mud of bombed roads. Night train cargo cars were improvised, rust and rotting wood transporting the genetic royalty of Europe. Inside those cars, every violent jolt of the destroyed tracks tested the biomechanics of the animals. The breed world famous for leaps and levitations at the Spanish riding school was now using its bone density and muscle control just to avoid breaking its legs on a moving train. General George S. Patton, a man who understood the brutality of war and the value of cavalry, authorized heavy support. To clear the way and escort the trains, he sent armor. 30-ton steel machines protecting the most fragile and priceless biology on the continent. During that harrowing crossing, newborn foals had to be carried in jeeps through the Bavarian woods. Every breath in the cold European spring air was a triumph against the statistics of annihilation. Men hardened by carnage found a visceral purpose in keeping those lungs working. Operation Cowboy avoided the abyss. Over 250 foundation stock horses were rescued from collapse. They survived starvation, artillery, and the very physiology of stress. Today, when you witness the nearly impossible levitation of an Austrian horse, you are not just seeing a classical dressage maneuver. You are looking at the heirs of a high-stakes rescue. A bloodline whose biology was saved because men on opposing sides decided that perfection should not bleed in the mud. They lowered their rifles and raised the reins. Operation Cowboy proved that even at the epicenter of destruction, respect for biological perfection can transcend borders.